It's 19 minutes after 8. Good morning. I'm Jim Thorne. You're listening to That's What's Happening on 103.9 WYAB. Well, each week, right around this time, we feature a really fine website for news, information, and inspiration for Mississippi families. It's MississippiMatters.info. It was started by award-winning writer Joe Maxwell. Mississippi Matters is also on Facebook as well. But check out the website as new posts are being constantly going up. One of the pieces that was recently included was by Madeline Burdine. It's called The Hate We Give. Some thoughts of hers in the article after reading a best-selling book called The Hate You Give by Jackson author Angie Thomas. And her piece has gotten quite a good bit of response, some complimentary, some not so complimentary. That's what we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes. And Madeline joins us now on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning, Jim.
Appreciate you taking time I read your piece, by the way, and I think I want you to kind of explain, first of all, the background on that. You based it on a book that you recently read, right?
Right. So I got here to Jackson, working with Mississippi Matters, and my boss, Joe Maxwell, was talking about this book because he had worked with Angie Thomas before, and he was talking about this book, and he just went on and on about it, so I just went and I bought it, and I read it. I love to read anyways. And it was so incredibly powerful that it really touched my life in a really special way, so I decided, that I needed to write about this and write about how it touched me and hopefully, get other people reading it as well.
Well, tell us maybe just a quick synopsis of the book by Angie Thomas.
Yeah, so the book, it's called The Hate You Give, and basically it's based, in what we would call a hood area, and this guy, this African-American teenager is actually shot and killed by a cop when he actually isn't doing anything wrong. And the huge thing about this book for me was, it showed the backstory of absolutely everything that happened, and it kind of made you look deeper than just what the eye sees at first. And that's really what touched me. And so the book goes into, after this occurs, it goes into the lawsuit of it and all of that sort of thing, and how that all worked too, and just all the different sides of everything. And it really was able to show me a lot and open my eyes to a lot of things.
Now, we talked about this, Madeline. The book is fiction, but it's kind of based on what could actually have happened, right?
Right. It is fiction, but the book, it's stories like you kind of hear on the news often, actually. Yeah. It could be real right here in Jackson.
Well, talk about the article. You wrote the article called The Hate We Give, and again, this is on MississippiMatters.info. Talk about that, Madeline.
So, yeah, my response kind of to this book was, that it made me realize so many things that, the people that we dub as this or that, there's a reason, each and every one of us, there's a reason that you are who you are today. There's a reason that I'm who I am today, and that's because of, our past and what's happening to us in our present. And I feel like a lot of times, as we're going throughout life, we don't think about that when we come to a person that maybe we don't particularly like or that we see as different than us, or why would they do this, why would they do that, and we automatically put on that judging face, and we disagree. And that was really the huge thing that I got, and I wanted to share that with people. So basically the article is, about, breaking the barriers that we put up between us and other people that appear to be different than us.
Now, you got some comments, Madeline, some of them positive, some of them a little bit negative. In fact, one post called you a liberal millennial, and you responded to that too. Talk about that, your thoughts on that. Yeah,
so I expect comments like that. That's just a thing that happens nowadays, and that's completely normal. And especially behind, a screen and behind a lot of phones, a lot of people will say a lot of things that they wouldn't typically say. And so I've prepared myself for those things, so I was ready for that. But yeah, a couple of comments were made that I was, a liberal millennial, and I disagreed with that, so I made a post, not punching back or anything, but basically the gist of the response that I made to that was just, that I'm not liberal and that I don't consider myself conservative either, but I consider myself a Christian. And that's, with my writing, every single thing that I write comes through a Christian perspective. And even if I try to steer away from that sometimes, like, it always gets back to that. Mm-hmm. So that's the gist of what I write. And so I believe, as a Christian and as I read Scripture, I believe that some things that Jesus, if he was walking this earth, I believe some things that Jesus would do would appear to be liberal to a lot of people. I really do believe that. And then I also believe on the other side that a lot of things would appear to be conservative. So I never want to limit myself to the label of a specific party or, affiliation. I want to follow Scripture, and I want to follow things that are going to encourage Christ, encourage people to see Christ and everything. So that was the response that I had to that.
We're speaking with Madeline Burdine, and the article she wrote is The Hate We Give, based on the comments that she based on from the book The Hate You Give by Jackson author Angie Thomas. Madeline, I think when we live in a world, especially in a world of mass media, it's easy for readers, listeners, viewers to categorize a journalist like yourself, but you are, just as you mentioned, pretty adamant that you don't want to be categorized, and that you want others to come to their own conclusions like you're doing yourself, right?
Right. I think as people, we categorize people, and that's really a huge thing. Like this article is putting out, I don't think we should categorize. I think that we should be open, to what people are saying and have a listening ear, a true listening ear. So that is definitely what I believe about that.
Madeline, you're garnering a good many comments on your work already. I know we talked last week about something that you just went crazy. You've made some great columns that people are responding to, and undoubtedly you're developing an increased following. And I would think that as a voice for millennials, you probably feel good about that, but also maybe some added pressure. Do you?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is definitely some pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself, anyways. As a person, I expect a whole lot out of myself. That sometimes I think I should calm down a little bit. But I really, I mentioned in our last segment that we had that I see my writing as ministry, and I believe that God is in each and every step of this, and that's really the core. That's the core of my writing, and I just want to be able to minister to people through my writing, even if it doesn't seem like a Christian post. It's coming from a Christian lens, and that's what I'm going for. So as far as the pressure, I do feel it sometimes. I'll be completely honest. I do feel a huge weight sometimes, but I have to remind myself in those times to give it back over to God and remember why I started all this in the first place.
Madeline Burdine, you can find out, read the articles on MississippiMatters.info, but how can people find other parts of your work, Madeline?
So if you just go on MississippiMatters.info, all of my work is under Mississippi Millennials, the tab Mississippi Millennials, but there's also some under some other tabs, so just check out all of the tabs, and I think you'll really enjoy what you see. Absolutely.
MississippiMatters.info, a terrific website. Put it in your favorites folder and check it often. New posts going up all the time. It's news, it's commentary, and it's inspiration. Founded by award-winning journalist Joe Maxwell. MississippiMatters.info, also on Facebook. Madeline, it's so good to talk to you again. Any final comments before we let you go today?
Not that I can think of. Just be open-minded and break the barriers that we create as human beings. All right. Madeline Burdine, thanks so much, Madeline. Thanks, Jim. All right. Our time now is 28 minutes after 8. I'm Jim Thorne. That's what's happening. 103.9 WYAB.